What stupid shit have I bought this time? This is definitely a weird car. Well, is it weird? I don't know. 4-person's Corolla, could you call it that? I'm gonna call it that. It's 2010 Nissan Tiida, not diesel. This is a 1.6 petrol for some reason. I don't know who was buying those in 2010, but someone was. And evidently no one else has been buying them in the meantime, because this is a one-owner car. And yeah, it's all I can think of really. It's €1,400, which for a 2010 car I think is reasonable enough to make some money on. Again, looking at these online, I think that could probably advertise this for maybe £2,000 and make a few euro on it pretty quickly. Like, see, like cheapest 09s are still going for like 2k and stuff like that. So 10 reg one, yeah, I'm hoping might be some money in this one. And the real downside I can think of is like intergalactic road tax there, €600. It's quite a lot for a post 08 car. It's not too bad though, huh? It's reasonably straight down the sides. There's a little dent in the bonnet you might have seen. A little dent in that door there. We're not really going to care about those too much. Quick clean, re-advertise, get rid, try and make some money. Because at the moment things are a little bit Corolla, I haven't really done anything with that yet. Still waiting. I want to get the car that I keep calling a Vectra that isn't a Vectra, the Zephyrus or the NCT. That's currently getting the repairs done. I'm going to get that NCT and sold. Then I want to get this NCT and sold. But in the meantime, try and keep some cash flow alive. I want to get this sold. I have to say it's an absolutely middling car at best. You know, there's lots of little things on it. This is not so good. A lot of stone chips and little dent. Don't really care about that. Non-genuine wheel trims. Don't look great, but they're matching, they're fine. I find one way you can always, or usually in Ireland, find a way that someone's been cheaping out on maintenance is when you see good brand tyres with a pretty low tread depth and these horrible fucking winter tread patterns. It's like absolute code for I buy part ones from Europe. You know, someone's probably bought these for like €20 each. And you know what? They're fine, but nothing says I scrimp on maintenance quite like that. The rear ones, the ship brand that we got today, Accent brand, they're actually much better in terms of tread depth. Much better in terms of tread depth. This is, we have 2 matching axle pairs, which is always a good sign. Fronts are a little more worn than the rears. At least someone's been thinking about maintenance. They haven't been thinking, you know, they've been thinking about it on a budget, but they have been thinking about it. So that's good. Other than that, the outside is a very boring silver Nissan Tiida. Reasonably straight. I think it's going to clean up pretty sweet. Just as I go to get inside the car, you'll probably see that all the windows are open. Just a crack. Absolutely fucking reeks of cigarettes in here. Otherwise, it's not too bad. Would you look at that? So it's actually cost me €1,399.80, so that's great. Otherwise, I had a brief look in this. There's absolutely not a screed of service history, but that's fine. It is a Nissan, so you don't need one. I was told it was NCT'd recently, and quick look at this. So actually, NCT'd 2 weeks ago. That's fantastic. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it a month or two ago. 2 weeks ago, that's really good. And NCT that 273,862. So I don't know, what have we got now? Tunes. We got, oh, look at that. Someone's clearly updating the service history, but the oil is good, so we can put that in the ad. The car has told me the oil is good. It's great. If it would just tell me the mileage, I'd be super happy. 273, 875. 273, 875, 862. Jesus, it's done 13 kilometers since it was NCT'd. That's unbelievable. That's great. That actually is, I think, a bit of a selling point. Thrilled with that. I'll throw that back in there. But absolutely no evidence of a service history. One sticker there that I can't read anything on. And there's an old service sticker in here. It says... Oh, it's actually an ad for Bargain Town Furniture. Never mind. So no, there's absolutely no service history. But as you can see, it no warning lights. Runs sweet. I suppose it is a Nissan petrol. One of the Renault era Nissans, but it still runs sweet. I'm really happy with that. Other than that, just looking around the interior, most of it's in really good shape. These seats are actually kind of some nice material. I was going to say crushed velvet, but that's not it. It's like velour or something. Like if you get into it, it's still got the original Nissan mats, which is always a nice sign. This wheel, some really bad kind of wear on it, just around the rim. Kind of see it there. Or like the finish is peeled off it, but it has done 280k. What I'm kind of finding is that it's hard to see in this light. There's quite a bad stain here, and it's like someone was getting into the car with a big dirty hand and hooshed themselves up on the seat like that. And maybe whatever oily substance this is maybe eaten into the steering wheel finish. But at this price point, I don't think it really matters. That does that, which is kind of cool. It's about as exciting as it gets. This I thought was interesting. I'm not trying to be like Doug DeMuro here, but this is one of the most obvious examples of cost cutting I've seen in a while, and where they clearly only make one kind of seat, and they wanted to give the extra adjustment to the driver's seat, but didn't want to make two kinds of seats. So, you know, usually these adjustment handles are on the outsides of the seats. I would say this is a driver's seat from a left-hand drive car, and they just didn't want to make two kinds of seats, so they just said, fuck it, we'll put the handles on the inside, which makes it a bit cluttered up down there, but it's fine. Other than that, I'm kind of struggling for things. It's the real Nissan parts bin in here. You've got the door handles from a Micra, the stereo from a Qashqai, this switchgear from pretty much every Nissan that ever existed. That's definitely in a Micra. Those pedals, like my shoes, they're Puma Suedes. They're in every Nissan ever, definitely in any Micra I can ever think of. Steering wheel from every Nissan ever. And this instrument cluster, if you look closely at this, the outside profile of this, is this the exact same cluster that's in like a Dacia Duster, Dacia Sandero? I'm pretty sure it is. Someone can confirm that for me, but I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, it's dull as ditch water, but it's perfectly acceptable motoring. It's not even that dirty in there, which is always a positive. Save me cleaning it. There's absolutely nothing happening back here. Got 3 seats for 3 people, a flat floor, 1 switch, no crack. But you know, there isn't even, you know, even the Corolla over there, like, there's no wear on this. I'm really impressed by how, you know, if the steering wheel wasn't worn, the interior is not worn for 275k on what would say is a Nissan from the sort of time period where they weren't that good anymore. I was going to open the bonnet now, but as I said before, you often learn more in the boot than you do under the bonnet, so this is so Nissan. There's just nothing going on. It's some big empty boot and one absolutely tiny spare wheel. No water, which is nice. No signs of accident damage, which is nice. I'll take that all day long. This is not a bad car. The more I walk around it, the more I'm kind of getting into it. I think you kind of have to feel it yourself for you to be able to sell it. I have to say, the more I look, the more I like. I'm just seeing here, oil air plugs at 269. So I take back the fact that I said it has no service history. Fully documented service history here. Oil air plugs, oil and platinum plugs. Sorry, oil and platinum plugs at 269k. 273 on it now, so it got a decent service 4k ago, so that's something. There's another one here. I assume FS stands for full service, so I have no idea. Often, like, how hard is it to just write the mileage? 16400, is that 16,400 kilometers when the car was new? I doubt it. Is it 164,000? If it is, why didn't they just put on another zero? How hard is it to just give me the facts? You know what I mean? Other than that, I mean, I'm seeing a good Bosch battery there. Like I always say, it's not clean, but it is bone dry, which is always good to see. There's no signs of any leaks or anything like that, which is always nice. Brake fluid is nice and full. Coolant is nice and full. The oil, say it's 4k old. It's not so bad. It's a high mileage car, so I suppose we'll take that. But other than that, it looks sweet under there. These are chain driven engine, and this one isn't noisy or anything like that. Haven't driven it. The clutch bite's good. I don't think it's a bad car. The more I see it, the more I like it. I think if you pick this car up for 18 or 1900 euros, it's not a bad car. It's not a great looking car, it hasn't got much street cred, but you know, I'd say that could soldier on for a few more years and do someone well for not a huge amount of money. So really, the plan for this car is just a nice quick flip. Just going to get it washed now, quick coat of polish, a little bit of tyre shine, get into the inside, quick hoover, nothing serious, dash shine, clean the windows, and just douse of it for breeze. A couple of hours work. Should have it looking pretty sweet. Other than that, then it's just get the ad up. I think if this car was advertised for 1950 and maybe take 1800, that's, you know, that'll give me around 400 euros out of it. I'd be pretty happy with that. Now I could be wrong, could be eating my words, and we could be looking at it here in 2 months' time like that bloody red Micra, which is now gone. But hopefully it goes quick. So there we are. We're going to call it the poor man's Corolla, but I think that could be a good car for someone. I suppose while I'm at it, just a little rant that probably nobody cares about, but something that makes it hard to flip cars in Ireland is how long it takes to get an NCT. Why is it I know the MOT is privatised in the UK, but you can get a test at a day's notice. In Ireland, 2, 3, 4 weeks, another 2 weeks for a retest. It makes it very hard to sell used cars, or to sell, I suppose, cheaper used cars. Most of them have no NCT. It's not actually that hard to get a car to pass the NCT, but it's so hard to get an appointment. That's never going to change, but just a little rant. Thank you. Are you really into cars if you've never washed a car when it's getting pretty dark? I'm not sure, but I just did. That's just a quick run around it. Literally, as you can see, a lot of Demon Shine products. I just sprayed the whole thing with Demon APC. Demon Cleaner on the wheels. This is not an ad for Demon Shine, it's just cheap and kind of okay stuff. And I think, I haven't tried it, but the water is beading out, so most of the paintwork is, as you see. And I think it looks loads the better for it. You seen earlier in the video, it wasn't a particularly dirty car anyway, but I just find if you get into it, just clean, little things you wouldn't usually, like in along these window channels here, and in around the wing mirrors, along these rub strips, ignore that, along these rub strips, and maybe, you know, just a kind of semi-detailed clean just in along the grills and things like that. I do it with a really cheap detailing brush. I think it really adds to the finish of a car. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I'm going to try and get the windows clean on the inside tonight because they're very, very grubby. That means I'll have to do in the morning is hoover it, dash shine it, and put an ad up. So we're kind of getting through it. I'm going to have to go in soon. This is going to kill me. But so far, really, really happy. Said I'd take my chances and go at the glass. Important to get these little fly windows. You can actually see the brown on them from the inside, and I don't know if you can really see it on the cloth there, but they were just disgusting. Try and just, that really doesn't do any justice to how disgusting disgustingly brown this glass is with nicotine. I don't know how they managed to get no ash on anything, but windows were gross. Just using household glass cleaner like I used in the Suica, full of vinegar, gets your glass. It's going to be birds flying into that, it's so clean. It's definitely getting too dark to appreciate any changes now, but I've got the glass clean all around. You might see the dash is a bit more matted. Oh, I'll just turn the radio down. The dash is a bit more matte finish, so is the wheel. I just got in, done the whole inside of the car with APC and a microfiber. Most notably in around the instrument cluster here, there was lots of snots and crumbs and rubbish. Just important to get into all these little corners, nooks and crannies underneath this switch, in around here and stuff like that. That's all clean. You can actually kind of see how clean that looks. There's a bit of a wear mark here. I've cleaned that off. Cleaned the wheel up. Everything's nice, matted, clean, neutral. Very happy with that. So out in the morning, just run the hoover through it, lick a Febreze, and we should be good to go. This thing about this Maguire's bucket, so when it's dark and you're panicking to tidy everything up, you can just fucking throw everything into the bucket. It's too deep with bottles there, and just throw it in the shed. No need to clean up properly. It's the following day. Nice and bright. Definitely going to rain. Definitely the following day. Been through the car, just giving it a very loose hoover out. You can kind of see better that stain on the seat. I'm just not going to touch that because I think it's a can of worms. Got it all hoovered, like I say, not perfectly, but definitely hoovered. This bit of wear here, I think first impressions when you're looking at buying a car, you open the door, you look in, you see a big wear spot. Never a good thing. So, oh yeah, we know what's coming next. This is written in Russian, so it has to be good. I'm going to give that a quick dart of matte black and show you how it looks in a sec. And just like that, I mean, it's still not perfect, but it really takes the bad look off worn carpets. Just a quick dart of matte black. Obviously if the carpets are grey or black, I think that looks much better. If I really wanted to be really pedantic, I could clean up the pedals just with a bit of soapy water, but not going to do that. But I think sticking your head in there now, it looks much better. So one of the last jobs I plan on doing with this, I was just kind of looking out, a little bit of wind there, that's standard, just to ruin the video. I was looking out the window at it, all these chips, these great big chips. That one, that was huge, look at that beside my finger. And this one here. I'm just going to touch those in. I can only describe as silver spray paint. This one tells me everything I need to know. Petrol resistant, which is always good. Non-crack paint, which is good. Silver, which is really good. And most importantly, perfect finish. So usually what I do is I take the lid off and I just spray the can into the lid and just use the paint that's in the lid, touch it in with like that's just a kid's paintbrush. It's not going to be a perfect job, but it'll do pretty sweet for what we need. So I went ahead and touched in those chips, and as you can see, it just takes the bad look off the front of the car. And if you get up close to them, obviously you can still see them, but even for the sake of photographs, like no one's going to miss those when they come to view the car, but just to get someone out to even look at it, not to waste someone's time of course, but it really takes the bad look off it. What you mustn't do though is lose the run of yourself when you're doing a bit of touching up like that and go and paint in whole scratches like that, like I just did, because that looks shit. That needs a body shop. So never ever do that. Resist the urge, put the paint down, don't go to town just like that. But I think that's us then. So there it is. It doesn't look too bad, does it? It doesn't look a whole lot different from yesterday, but surely there's a home for this car for £2 grand. Nice and clean, smells good, maybe a little grubby, but look, we're not talking huge many cars here. Oh, there's our first customer. What do you think, Bosco? £2 grand cash? Cash? No. Never mind. There's another one done. Let us know what you're thinking. Thanks.